You walk through a forest and nothing happens. No growl, no charge, no teeth. Billions of people do this every single day. They hike, they camp, they wade into rivers full of fish that could theoretically hurt them, and almost nothing does. But the real answer for why is far stranger than animals are scared of us. You are not just avoided, you are feared on a level that most predators on Earth have never experienced from any other species. Let that sit for a second. Your ancestors were not the strongest animal on the plains. They had no claws, no fangs, no fur thick enough to stop a bite. And yet somehow, across almost every ecosystem on the planet, animals learned one lesson faster than any other lesson in nature. Stay away from that one. Why? Start with a number that sounds impossible. In 2019, researchers Liana Zinet and Michael Clinchy, working with wildlife biologists in South Africa's Greater Kruger region, ran a simple experiment. They set up hidden speakers near watering holes. Some played the sound of lions growling, some played gunshots, some played dogs barking, and some played ordinary human voices, just people talking calmly, the way you might talk to a friend. The animals fled from the human voices most of all. Not the lions, not the gunfire, just people talking. Elephants, leopards, giraffes, warthogs, species that had never personally been hunted by the researchers, still bolted at the sound of a human voice faster and more consistently than they fled from the actual apex predator sharing their ecosystem. Here's the part that should stop you. Lions are the fear benchmark in that landscape. They are what other animals build their entire survival strategy around, and your voice beat them. Why would evolution wire that in? Because for the animals doing the running, it worked. The ones who treated humans as more dangerous than lions were the ones who survived long enough to pass that instinct on. Over generations, across continents, in Africa, in Asia, in the Americas, that same pattern kept repeating. Fear of humans became one of the most successful survival strategies an animal could carry. Now rewind further, past the individual instinct into deep evolutionary history. Anthropologist Joel Berger has spent decades studying what he calls the landscape of fear, the invisible map of danger that shapes how prey animals move through a habitat. Long before rifles, before spears, before your ancestors even had fire, something about early humans was already rearranging that map. Some researchers think it was cooperation. A lone human is slow, weak, and easy to kill. A group of 10 humans moving together, throwing rocks in coordinated bursts, screaming in unison to startle a predator mid-charge, is a different animal entirely. Not stronger, smarter, together. Some think it was persistence. Your body can sweat. Most predators can't. A cheetah can outrun you in seconds, but overheats in minutes. Early humans could chase an antelope for hours in open heat until the animal simply collapsed. That is not brute strength. That is patience turned into a weapon. And some researchers point to something even more unsettling. In 2015, ecologist Chris Darramont led a study that compared human hunting behavior to every other predator on the planet. The conclusion had a name that sounds almost like science fiction: super predator. Darramont's research found that humans kill adult prey animals, the biggest, strongest, most reproductively valuable individuals, at rates far higher than any other predator on Earth. Lions target the weak, the young, the sick. Humans, especially through modern hunting and fishing, have historically gone straight for the largest and strongest. That is not how nature usually works, and animals, on some level encoded across thousands of generations, seem to know it. So if you're feared this thoroughly, this consistently, across species that have never even met you personally, why do some animals still attack? Here's the twist. The animals that do attack humans are almost never the ones evolution should have taught to fear you the most. Sharks. Ask yourself when a shark last hunted a human population for food across thousands of years, the way lions once did to early hominids on the African savanna. It hasn't. Sharks rarely, if ever, evolved alongside humans as a competing predator. Most shark attacks aren't predation at all. They're mistaken identity, a silhouette on the surface that briefly resembles a seal. Compare that to a grizzly bear defending cubs or a hippo defending territory. Those attacks aren't fear failing. They're something else entirely, a threatened animal protecting what matters most, choosing violence not out of hunger but out of desperation. And then there's the strangest case of all. Elephants, some of the most intelligent land animals alive, have been documented specifically targeting and attacking individuals in regions where poaching has been severe. Not randomly, selectively. Researchers studying elephant behavior in areas with high poaching pressure have observed animals showing heightened aggression, altered social structures, even something resembling learned trauma passed between generations. In other words, in the rare places where humans behaved like the super predator Darimont described, some animals stopped running, they started remembering. That's the modern mirror, isn't it? Fear isn't really about size or teeth or claws, it's about pattern recognition, built up over immense stretches of time, encoded so deep it doesn't even feel like a decision anymore. An impala doesn't calculate the odds when it hears a human voice, it just runs. Because every ancestor of that impala who didn't run is not the reason that impala exists today. You carry a version of this too. Think about the last time you felt a sudden chill walking alone somewhere unfamiliar at night, heart rate spiking before your conscious mind even knew why. That is the same ancient machinery, just running in reverse. You are both the thing that gets feared and a creature still wired to fear. Which means every time you walk through a landscape and nothing attacks you, that isn't luck. That isn't emptiness. That's an invisible negotiation happening in real time, built from millions of years of animals learning exactly what your ancestors were capable of, and choosing, overwhelmingly, not to find out for themselves. So the next time you're in nature and it feels quiet, almost too quiet, remember what that silence actually is. It's not that nothing is watching. It's that everything already knows what you are.